Welcome back to another episode of Going For It. We are here with the Buttes. Gentlemen.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm just trying to flatter you guys.
This guy. Definitely not him, but me.
I don't know. He's got better shirt game than you right now. I'm going to be honest.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
It's a great shirt. It's a great shirt.
A top 7 quarterback in the league? What are you saying?
Top
7.
Craig's on drugs, guys. We need to have an intervention.
That's bullshit. If you looked at the first 7 weeks of last year, you would have to agree.
Talk to me about the last 10 weeks, though, Craig.
He was concussed. It's not fair to compare. He had fucking brain damage. It's obvious.
His back hurt. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about NFC, AFC West quarterback rankings. We are going to start in the NFC. And I'm going to start with my favorite sourpuss of all time, Mike Thomas. NFC West, who do you have?
Oh my God.
What just happened?
You just don't hear sourpuss enough anymore. Like you just don't hear.
I went deep for that one. I went deep for...
No, but I hear it all the time just walking down the street, be like, what the sourpuss, bro? Like, I don't know you. Stop talking to me like that.
In the 80s? What's going on? I don't understand.
I do live in Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
It's very 80s-ish.
He goes to the grocery store and a 9-year-old be like, what's with the sourpuss?
As he walks away in his hammer pants. Walks away in his hammer pants and his bedazzled jean jacket. Oh my God. Anyway, NFC West. Who is how do you rank your quarterbacks in the NFC West? I think they're all pretty bad.
Bad.
So
it's not a good situation.
Are we doing like for this coming year, and I ask because of injury?
So I would like to operate under the assumption of full health. Full health.
That makes it harder.
Very unlikely in this division.
No, I think it makes it
have
easier.
been a very big fan of Kyler Murray over the years until his own team threw him under the bus with his last contract and the video game clause, and then announcing that clause is like letting that be known that they have a clause in there about his video game habits. And I don't think it's a coincidence that his play has suffered the last couple of years, and also he's been getting hurt more and more. So I don't know. I want to put Kyler 1
full
and then
health.
Say it's Kyler and everybody else, even at full health, I don't know anymore. I don't think it's a clear cut. And then the problem is Stafford is great guy, had a great career, but I'm really scared by last year, so I don't know where to put him. Purdy, fantastic first year. I don't know. Geno, obviously Geno's one of the best. So it's kind of like instead of having like a 1A, 1B, I think we've got like a 3A, 3B situation going on.
It feels
so
very much
rude.
like that.
I'm going to go
true,
for this coming year, my guess, assuming full health, I don't feel good about this at all. Purdy, Kyler, Stafford, Geno. No. Purdy, Kyler, Geno, Stafford.
Okay. All right. Craig Brooks, what do you got?
Full health. If that's what we're talking about.
Yes, we're talking
for
full
me,
health.
it's Kyler, Purdy, Stafford, Geno. So I think while Geno got you, I think he might have even won this comeback player of the year or something like that. He may or may not.
Yeah.
Somebody did. Somebody always wins that.
Somebody won it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a thing, and it matters.
And they're back, and it's great.
Exactly. And he's fun. That's fine. Purdy at full health proved that he could really take a team to the show. Kyler at full health can do more than any of the other 4 on the field. And that's the only reason I'm saying him at 1 is that you said full health. So that would mean we don't have to worry about him limping around and shit like that.
His Madden game is strong.
So
he can do a lot on the Madden.
So he's the best at
he
the
he
Maddens.
actually plays Call of Duty from what I understand. So
he does.
I'm just throwing.
I don't have that's good for his fast twitch reflexes. I don't have those anymore, so I can't play those games.
There were people tracking Call of Duty. Apparently, I don't play. They have special weekends where you get multipliers and stuff
double
like
XP, that. Double XP.
There
weekends.
were people tracking his performance based on double XP weekends. I don't have that graph in front of me, but there were people making arguments that okay, this is why he lost. but like you can't. I think that's obviously a fun narrative to have. But
wait, so
it's a
they
whole
would
team.
say we know that, let's say October 10th, that weekend was a double XP weekend, and his stats had a 20% drop. Oh, interesting.
Oh yes,
I
so
remember this.
That narrative like reached a fever pitch with the contract stuff you brought up, right? And that did happen. And he was very offended. He like deleted Arizona Cardinals from his Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
He also like is very rich. I think we're did very well for himself. Actually makes money in gaming. He's part of FaZe Clan, I think, and all that.
Yeah.
Like now, I am not saying it's okay that he would be gaming instead of watching film. I also think even at the quarterback position, you're one of 22, right? So it is not just him that is the problem. His talent at his peak of what he's capable of, he's fucking top 5 in the league in what he's capable of. That is not where he's going to end up, though. That's not where he's going to end up.
I was going to just say, backpacking on the capable of, that's the thing that sets the Bradys apart from the others, is that dedication to, I'm going to sit in a dark room and watch 14 hours of film and like know every twitch that guy across the line is going to do. And I will know the audible to audible out of this to get in the best case scenario. Kyler's not if what was said is to be believed, that's not what's happening.
Correct. He's not spending that time that it would take to become top 3. We know Mahomes, like even just from the snippets to our conversation earlier of like the dude is drawing out plays in his sleep, on paper, wherever he goes. Like you hear about this. Even Aaron, for all the people that shit on him, the work ethic is quite serious in like how he goes to work. So you just if Kyler's talent is so high, but if his mentals will, he's joyful about gaming, like I can't even blame him. It's just he will not reach the pinnacle of his sport. But ultimately, he's going to make $250 million from being an NFL quarterback, maybe more by the end of it, because the one contract was sick, 165 or 180 or something like that. And it's like he gonna be all right. And if we get a full health version with a decent line and maybe 1.5 receivers and a tight end, like he can rip for 4,400 yards and 38 touchdowns. And we wouldn't come back next year and be like surprised. We'd be like, oh, well, he's still himself.
Right.
Unless I'm
wrong. It out. He put it together.
Right. Unless I'm wrong and he's over 27 and Mike will say he's trash.
He's basically dead.
He's dead.
There was a chart I was looking at where they looked at the first 6 weeks of last year and compared it to the 25 Call of Duty events. What if I were to tell you his passing stats were better on weeks with Call of Duty events, but his rushing stats were way worse?
Well, right. And that's the thing that people were trying to, I'm only basing it on, you guys know I listen to McAfee, but like during season, I listen every night while I do my chores. And for many, many days, they were talking about it. And apparently he makes more happen on the ground, but he's fatigued or whatever. And he can rely on his brute, like he can sling it. Dude can sling it.
He's got a cannon.
So I would more say, look at the win losses and see if the narrative holds up. I don't know if it does.
It was 1-2. During the first 6 weeks of last year that this article tracks from SBNation.com.
Yeah.
He was 1-2 on the weeks with no Call of Duty event and 1-2 on the weeks with Call of Duty events. His average passing yards dropped on weeks with Call of Duty events, but his completion percentage was a little bit higher, yards per attempt higher. Average touchdown went from 0.66 to 1.25 on weeks where he had the Call of Duty event, but his yards per carry dropped by 5.5 yards.
We'd have to zoom out though and look at more than 6 weeks. He's played Call of Duty his whole career, so we would have to zoom out and like I'm not saying any of us would have to do this, but I feel like that article doesn't give a good enough snapshot. The kid's been playing Call of Duty his whole life,
but it's also the very first. It's the first result on Google, so it's got to have some weight to it.
Well, I mean, I'm
not going to 2 and 3 results on this topic, Craig.
Unintended pitch. They may just have better SEO, brother. They may just have better SEO and a shit like writer.
So I am actually going to mirror your rankings there, Mr. Brooks. I love Kyler at 1, Purdy at 2, Stafford, Geno. I just think Kyler's intangibles are off the charts, man.
Yeah.
Like, he can win a game by himself, and it's a shame that he's in Arizona where, like, most of the time he has to win a game by himself. Otherwise, they're fucked.
They're run poorly. We know it. Like you brought it up earlier. They're very poorly run. They make bad trades. They didn't surround him properly. He's 5'10". He needs a better line. Give him some time, and he can find anybody on the field. He proved it. So
Well, and the thing that I hold valuable is that when DeAndre Hopkins was questioned about going to a new team, he said he wanted to go to a contender with a quarterback who was serious, and everyone took that comment and like blew it out of proportion, because the sentence right after that, he said, not to say that's Kyler. He's like, Kyler's a professional. Kyler is a stud. He's like, but he wants to go somewhere to win. That's what he's trying to say. He's saying Kyler's going to have time.
He wasn't shitting on Kyler like he was shitting on that front office is my take of that. But the media will take half the quote and make a narrative.
Exactly.
And Kyler got fucked by his team and the media last year.
Yeah. Real bad job. But I think Brock Purdy can run that offense, that Shanahan offense in his sleep. Who can't? Anytime they plug somebody, I don't know, man.
Facts.
I don't know.
Craig spitting truths.
You're the same height as Purdy, I think, though, so you could figure it out.
You could figure it out.
Yeah, but
can you throw 5-yard outs?
Baked potato.
You cooked, bro. You cooked.
I am cooked.
Love Purdy. Stafford is just on the wrong side of the hill of his career. I think if he gets to the Rams 5 years ago and is like working with, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he got one, so it's like, yes, you're right.
He got his.
I thought his wife was gonna win and get him out of the league after that spinal thing. So like, I don't even know why. Well, okay, I do know why. I shouldn't say that. $59 million is why he stayed. It's definitely a financial thing. He didn't need that money in life, but it is hard to say no to that sum, and I believe that is what he's getting. He is totally screwing the Rams. They did try to move him in the offseason to get that 59 off the books. Of course, no one accepted that. And like, they're also not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It's literally impossible. I just don't think that roster has the three guys we all think they have, and you don't know another one. It's Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Stafford, and you don't know another one.
But that's because they sold the farm to win the Super Bowl. They did.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, in all sports these days, you get one, you're good for decades. It just doesn't feel that way to the fan bases like you, Mike, that have had so many, or the Patriots or whatever. Like, I talk about the Milwaukee Bucks this way in the NBA. They sold their future for the Antetokounmpo family. They drafted his brothers. But they got one. So, like, you're good. And the Rams are going to be fine, and they might even be good again in 3 to 4 years.
As long as they can keep hold of those draft picks, because they were selling draft picks like they were going out of style there for a hot minute. And then Geno is I don't know about you guys, but I fully expect a regression from Geno this season. I just think that
feels right.
Last year was a flash in the pan. Like, I don't know. It was, I don't even think his numbers were that good. I haven't looked directly at them, so I don't know for certain.
He did turn back into a pumpkin like week 12.
Cinderella reference. What? Yeah, I don't. I have no.
Boo.
Geno, you suck. Signed, Mike Thomas.
Sourpuss.
Mike, that was my.
You
favorite.
You gotta give Pat a photo of you like this, and then he's got to run. Yeah, Pat, take a screenshot, that shit, run that through Midjourney, and that's the thumbnail.
That's it. That's perfect. Oh my god. Yeah, let's pivot to the AFC because there's more that I'm sure Sourpuss has to say. We're gonna lead off with you again.
No doubt.
Who are your rankings in the AFC West?
Are you coming to me?
Yeah, you Sourpuss.
GBG, baby. No. Are we actually going to differ on this? I don't think we're going to
so.
differ on. I
I
think all
it.
three of us are going to have the exact same.
Probably.
All right, you hit me with it, and I'll tell you if you're factual.
Patty Mahomes,
Yeah,
Justin Herbert,
yeah,
Russell Wilson,
yeah,
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Cool. Next episode.
It feels pretty straightforward.
No, it's true, and it's just Jimmy could have been something, but it's over.
It's so weird that this dude had so much promise for so long. Like, got to a dance, did a bad thing in that dance that he could have done a good thing.
One bad thing.
One bad thing. He did one bad thing.
And
if he did one good thing,
they would have beat the Chiefs.
That's
He overthrew him by, I think, 10 yards. It was that bad.
It was a lot. It was bad. It was not a good situation. But is there, okay, let me pose this question. Is there any way regular season Justin Herbert can get in the conversation of number one quarterback in this division?
No.
So fast.
Oh, sorry. No. Injury. But I don't want that to happen. Injury is the only way.
Okay.
It's if they both play.
If Mahomes can't play,
right.
Yes.
Yes, if he physically can't play, yes, but he is better. That is he's just physically better. He's the brain's better for football. It's all better.
Okay. Follow-up question. Is Russell Wilson cooked?
Mike, you want to go first?
I was going to ask Pat a question related to Russell Wilson.
Well, you used to like him a lot. He met him.
I did meet him. I
think he dapped
Sierra.
up. Did you dap
we
him
did.
up?
We did dap up. Yes, that is correct.
What are the odds that Russell Wilson rebounds and competes with Herbert for the number 2 quarterback in the division?
I think this is a very high probability because I think Sean Payton is a good enough coach that he can get Russell where he needs him to be and he can motivate him. My concern is that what's come out about Russell in the last couple of years with the way that ended in Seattle and things like that he might be a little bit of a diva. And whereas guys like Peyton and Brady wanted their coach to ask more of them, I don't know if I think Russ wants to give. I don't think he wants to be asked to give. So I'm worried about that. But if everything goes great, if their relationship is wonderful, if Sean Payton loves Russell loves Sean, I think it's a lot closer than people are going to think, especially with that receiving core in Denver is really good. Herbert can't keep wide receivers on the field. Tight end situation is mixed on both sides. And yet Russ still has the best teardrop deep ball that I've ever seen in my whole life. So I think that competition could be a lot closer than a lot of people, especially after last season. But if Sean Payton gets the best out of Russell Wilson, I don't think we've seen the end of him. Personally, I do like Russ. So a little bias.
It does feel like the last 12 months have just sucked for Russell Wilson. Like, how miserable must you be as a competitive person to be dunked on by ex-teammates left and right, and then to go and shit the bed for an entire season?
For a team that gave up everything. They gave up
exactly
everything for you.
But Jesus now Christ. You've also got a fantastic, well-respected head coach who's coming in, and I think Russell Wilson could turn it around. I don't know if he will, but we went back to our bulletin board talk discussion. Like, he's got legit bulletin board material. He's got quotes.
But is he that guy? Guy? The pressure, you're married to a former pop star who's very attractive. Y'all don't need money. You're having a good life. You're raising kids. What if it's not there anymore? He already won a Super Bowl. He went to 2. He had his best statistical season during COVID, which wasn't that long ago. And then he gets moved, gets paid $200 million, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So already was rich, by the way. Got another 2. And what if it's not there? We know his team 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
They were dripping poison in his ear by accident. They didn't mean to, but they made him a bit of a diva from everything I heard of that separation. Then when they got there, the Waltons didn't know, you shouldn't allow that. You shouldn't allow him to have his own office, that thing, and bring the team in and everything.
Sean Payton was like, no, we're not doing this.
Right. As soon as Payton comes in. So it really depends on the things I don't think it depends on the athleticism or the ability. He has that. Yeah, I think it's all mental. and if he's going to choose to lock in or not. And if he does lock in, well, shit, then you got a guy that arguably could be top 5 in the league. He was in 2020. 2021, he was not, but he was his TD to quarter interception ratio was primo. His QB, his quarterback rating was still very good. It's just Seattle wasn't as good.
Yeah, and part of me feels like him being drafted by the Seahawks and going to Pete Carroll was kind of a perfect storm, because Carroll is a player's first quarterback or a player's first coach, and like catered to him and like took him under his wing and did all this stuff and maybe even coddled him a little bit. And I think he got to a new team and like expected things to be run a certain way, and he had a new first time head coach,
timer.
And like that dude was not prepped for what happened. Like Denver was in shambles from preseason week 1 till the end of the season.
The whole way. The whole
it was
fucking
bad.
way.
That coach is like, thank God Urban Meyer exists.
Right.
He
really taking the pressure off of him.
Oh, and he got fired, and he's back with Aaron again. He's in New York.
And like, good for him.
No. But Russell didn't get a full fair draw. This year he will, and now we get to see. To both of your points, like he's either going to be irrelevant, like, and then forever irrelevant, or Peyton will cultivate the 2-year-ago version, and we're going to be like, oh shit, Russ can cook when he's mentally motivated, and Hackett didn't have it.
Right. And so, Mike, to your point, mentioning that, he seemed to struggle, and like bulletin board material and things like that, and that he's been getting dunked on for 12 months. If Sean Payton comes in and cannot recoup 2 years ago Russell Wilson, that dunking is never going to stop. You will go from someone who was literally one of the best, like top 5, top 3 for me. His best season, I was like, that dude should be MVP. But you will never stop getting dunked on. Ever.
No, he'll just be posterized in the locker room.
Well, and that sucks because he won a Super Bowl. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I just think it's interesting because, Craig, a couple of weeks ago you were talking about players having bad second halves of their careers and it tanks their legacy. And I was saying at the time, like there's a lot of players where they do end poorly, but it doesn't affect their legacy. And I brought up Marino. If Russell Wilson continues to have a bad track record in Denver, I don't think he's the quarterback there next year at that point, and then it would tarnish his legacy in a big way.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think it would be a bad. I don't know. I think he'll still get to start because there's still Carolina Panthers of the world. There's still, Jacksonville seems to kind of be on a path, but like he'll still get starting jobs places, but he's going to very quickly become a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of person in the league that can win you some games, but he can lose you way more.
From what I understand, they have a strong defense, and with Peyton as the coach, if we believe that he hasn't coached in I think 2 years or whatever, but was very good at coaching from all that we saw, really got the most out of people. I think they're going to surprise people. I think the Broncos, what's their over under 8.5, 9.5, something like that?
I don't,
because of Peyton being there.
It is a tough division. It's a tough division.
But I think the Chargers are one of these weird moments where, like, I'm not attempting to shit on them, but what I'm about to say will. Like, I think they are going to underperform.
8.5, from Sports Illustrated.
What's the Chargers at? 9.5 or 10? I just fear that, like, 9.5. I really like the Chargers, right? I do, but year over year, we see stuff that we're like, oh, of course you weren't going to win a big game. Of course you weren't going to be there. And like, I wouldn't be shocked if Denver beats up on the Chargers, not the Chiefs. I'm not willing to say that, and I don't think they'll beat up on the Bengals either, because I think the Bengals are still maintaining the upward trajectory. I'm just not as worried about the Chargers for what Denver has to do and what they have to get through. And I'm just, the Raiders, I think, are going to stink. I think they're going to, I just think they're going to be
It's a bad situation.
I think they're going to be bad. I think they brought in a bad coach. They brought in a bad culture with it. And like, that means I think there could be some free wins for the Broncos if they get their shit together. And what if they split with the Chiefs? Because divisional games do get wonky, right?
Weird, yeah.
And like, now you're at 11 wins. Now you're like, oh shit, the talk is all different. You probably make the playoffs with 11 wins this year, right? I think. What was it last year with the 17 gamers? What was the wild cards were getting in with 10s, right?
I think it was a 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Giants were at 10.
I don't know, man. Like, while I stand by what we all agreed for the quarterback rankings, I just don't actually believe in the Chargers as much as I believe the opportunity for the Broncos exists.
Yeah, and honestly, speaking to the Raiders, the weird thing about the Raiders and the whole Josh McDaniels situation for me is I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not in the locker room. Obviously, I have no connections. Yeah, cool. Anyway, next topic. No, I feel like guys from the Belichick coaching tree feel like they can coach like Belichick. And I say that as a Giants fan who had to suffer through 3 years of Joe Judge. And they just come in and they're like, I'm going to do it like Bill. And it's like, you got to win like Bill in order to do shit like Bill. And I feel like McDaniels falls in that like
100%. 100%.
Because Patricia did it in Detroit, and they all hated him
horribly.
Yeah.
Because you didn't, the players don't perceive the OCs, the DCs, and the underlings with the same respect level as a head coach with the rings. They don't. The players never perceive it that way. So when you come in and you're not creating your own and you're just the offspring, you get no respect.
To be fair, they did perform like Bill, just his time in Cleveland. It was Cleveland Bill.
It was Cleveland Bill. Right.
Not New England
wrong Bill. It was the wrong
Bill. Yeah. You're not wrong there. But that, I don't know that Belichick's style is replicatable the way other people's were. The Shanahan, the Walsh tree was much more prolific. Where did who was Holmgren and Andy Reid and everything? Like, there was a few that came.
Yeah,
from,
it was Mike Holmgren. Yeah.
No, but
Holmgren,
I think
came
weren't
from
they
Reid.
from Walsh?
I think
maybe they were.
Like, if you really look at, I think the most successful tree might be Bill Walsh.
Yes.
And of all time.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was even close to what Bill Belichick is. I think they had a completely different style. He did win 4 or 5 titles, I believe, but very different. And I think Bill's the only one that can execute the way Bill is. And yes, is he the best head coach of all time? Very likely, yes. And he also is a massive historian of the game. And if you get him outside of a press conference about the Patriots, he seems like a wonderful human. But like it's not possible for his underlings to do it. He's going to try with his sons for them to take over. You could see it. They're telegraphing the moves. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I don't think that will work either. I think Bill had a very special football brain that is a very unique thing. He was able to see talent in places that no one else could, and he was able to basically unlock secret code words in people, like those dog trainers that have like the secret word for the dogs, and they become.
I was
killer.
thinking like the Winter Soldier. I was like,
like there you go. He clearly knew how to do that with Brady, with Vinatieri, with many others on defense, and like he was able to unlock special secrets, and that this McDaniel don't have it, Judge didn't have it, Patricia don't have it. None of them have it.
Bill O'Brien was the best one directly from that coaching tree, and even he was fine.
He shit the bed with that trade with the massive bed shit. So I don't know, man. So I mean, I do know that I don't think his tree is anything. I know that. I know that they all.
Dabes is on that tree, so I have hope. But he's also come from other. Like, he worked with Belichick, he worked with Saban, then he was under McDermott, and so he's got from a little bit of a lot of places, which makes me a little more excited because
I like
that Belichick tree seems it's kind of rotten.
I will say it's not. It's those that decide. Daboll doesn't seem to do it the Bill way. See, I want to give you a little respect there for your team, because I actually like everything I hear from Daboll, everything I hear about the players and him and the interactions. It is not like the tree. Now, Bill is actually known as a guy that's got the back of some players, but because he's GM, they all fear him over the money.
Right.
Whereas again, I think the Patricia, the O'Brien, the definitely McDaniel, they only took the like
Hard
honestly
ass.
his negative traits.
Yeah.
They didn't take the intimacy, not like physical, but like the mental intimacy that Bill had with some of the guys. That's why I think Dayball, I don't really have him mentally as part of that tree because he doesn't act that way.
I just picture Josh McDaniels walking into the Vegas like player, like everyone's in the meeting room and he comes in a leather jacket with like a candy cigarette and he's like, we're doing shit my way. And they're like, who the fuck is this nerd?
What a missed opportunity to be more of like a player friendly where you are when the franchise moved there, all the money that's funneling in, and you're going to come and be the dumb version of you that you were at 2 other places. Like, what are you doing?
Drafting Tim Tebow. That's what he's doing.
Beat you guys in a playoff game.
Shut up.
He was a wonderful speaker at VCon, and he was very kind.
He seems like a very nice man. He seems like a very nice man.
He's very nice.
I saw him in a hallway one time, and he said hello to me.
He was a very nice Mike. I might have met him a few times at the baseball. I don't know.
I worked with the Mets when he was in the minor leagues there, and it was crazy with the crowd. Like, he would strike out, and the crowd would be like, good swing there, buddy.
Oh,
you did good.
He is very well liked. He's a likable dude.
Well, we will leave you with that Tim Tebow topic. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us with our AFC West quarterback rankings and NFC West quarterback rankings. Let us know what your rankings are down below. Let us know how shitty you think Josh McDaniel is. And we would love to banter with you about that. You can find us at Going For It Pod on Twitter and everywhere else. So please, again, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys all back here next time.
Woohoo!
See?